James Pearce Jr. was one of the best players coming out of the 2025 NFL Draft, and the Atlanta Falcons got this guy late because of the fact that there were some character concerns. But from a tape perspective, Pearce Jr. to me has elite upside. He has elite potential, and he flashed some of that against the Detroit Lions. And today we're going to break down this guy's tape. We're going to get into all the different things that this guy kind of flashed, the movement, the pass rush technique. To me, it was fully on display yesterday against the Detroit Lions. So I'm excited about this, man. Let's just get right into this guy's tape. Now, this play right here is obviously the first play Pearce is on the field. It ends up being the fumble. And I'm going to actually go ahead and just get into the second play Pearce is on the field. And I want to talk about responsibility. I want to talk about why I think Pearce has so much potential and has so much upside, and why I have faith that this guy's going to develop into a great football player. We're going to talk a lot about in this video responsibility. We're going to talk about movement. We're going to talk about, things that I think you can build upon. Now, this play here is a split zone. So what that means is the tight end here has a wham block on Pearce, and this is a key part of this play being able to potentially pop. Now, this is obviously a run over here to the right, but because it is a split zone, there's multiple lanes that the running back can basically hit. You can try to push this to the front side, or what oftentimes happens is these running backs actually end up bending this. And they bend it right off of this block right here. So if this tight end is able to get Pearce on the ground here, the lane could potentially open right underneath this. And the thing is the running back probably sees that Pearce ends up not falling onto the ground. And because of that, the running back has to run this to the right of your screen. Now, I want you guys to think about this and think about what the offense is trying to do, what the running back is potentially thinking as he takes the football. Again, split zone. He can go left, he can go right, he can go right in between the tackles. He can go anywhere he wants where there is a gap. But a lot of these split zone concepts do end up hitting basically where the wham block happens with this tight end. Now, obviously, he's able to make that tight end miss. And then with that, the running back really does not have a lane. If you don't watch the tape, if you don't recognize what the offense is trying to do, what the defense does, what the players up there kind of do, you might look at this play and say Pearce doesn't do anything. But you do got to realize he does impact this play because the running back cannot run this to the left. And he also obviously avoids the block as well. The running back runs right into the linebacker here, right? Or I'm sorry, the defensive lineman here. And 54 makes this play because Pearce is essentially pursuing this play from the backside. To me, really, really nice rep right there. Alrighty, guys, let's go ahead and jump forward a couple of snaps. There's some plays where Pearce is, he's double teamed, which we're not going to really look at plays where he's double teamed. There's a couple other plays where Detroit Lions ran screens. So there's not a whole lot you can take from those plays. But there are plays like this where it's 3rd and 4. It's a true pass rushing situation for Pearce. And he's going to try some sort of pass rush move. And this is part of what I like about Pearce. This guy has potential. He has upside. He moves well. He tries different pass rush moves. And believe it or not, there's a lot of defensive linemen in the NFL that were high draft picks. They have no pass rush moves. Tyree Wilson's a great example of this. The 7th overall pick literally has no pass rush moves. The fact that Pearce tries to double hand swipe this tackle, he's already showing more pass rush moves than a guy who's now entering the 3rd year of his NFL career. I want to talk about this play a little bit because there's a couple of different things that I'm seeing that if he can just continue to develop and get a little bit more consistent, it's going to work for him. Now, do recognize he doesn't pressure the quarterback. The quarterback has what is called a 3-step drop. So it's a 1, 2, 3, the ball comes out, right? This is a timing route. He's going to get the ball out quickly. So Pearce is not going to actually get the sack. But do recognize that James Pearce is going to try a move within this pass rush. He is going to, as he gets upfield, he's going to almost fake an inside move. And you'll see it in his shoulders. He's going to fake a hezzy move to the inside. And then he's going to double hand swipe and try to hit an outside move on the tackle. So obviously we're watching this play in slow motion, so you should be able to see that fake to the inside, right? I'm going to back it up here. You'll see that that head movement right there to the inside. Back it up one more time. To me, what Pearce is showing here is he has a hezzy with a double hand swipe. Obviously it doesn't work. The tackle here does a pretty good job. Now, obviously I show you guys these plays right here because there's other plays where you're going to continue to see some pass rush from this guy, right? You're going to see plays like this one. Now, this is a 68-yard pass, but you are going to see Pearce actually win, and he does a good job being able to kind of beat that tackle. Obviously, he pressures the quarterback on this one, so it's a pretty nice job by Pearce. Does hit for 68 yards, but look at Pearce. I'm going to slow this down so you guys can see him actually pull forward the offensive tackle. So he hezzies once again. He's going to try to go to some sort of power move. It doesn't work. But as he utilizes that power move, watch that left hand lock in with the right arm of this offensive tackle. And he's going to essentially use that to pull this guy forward. Right there, he pulls this guy forward, and then he even kind of swims over the top with the hands. If you guys watch this one more time, he's going to pull the guy forward. The right arm's going to come right over the top right there. It's pretty quick. And he generates pressure on the quarterback. To me, that's a winning rep. Obviously, the quarterback gets the ball out. Not great coverage downfield, but that's a nice rep. So when you see these plays where he's pass rushing, but he's not getting to the quarterback, but he's trying these different moves, recognize that down the line, these moves are going to work. There are plays where he is pressuring the quarterback. Now, as you guys saw on the last play, right, he got to the quarterback. On this one, once again, he's going to generate pressure. He's going to beat this offensive tackle. Very quick move, right? And again, you see that hezzy move. And, you know, I say this not to be biased because I'm making a video covering a guy who plays for the Atlanta Falcons. But the best pass rushers in the NFL will always hezzy before they get into that pass rush. And this is a good example of why you do that. So when Pearce hezzies on this left tackle here, right, when he fakes that inside move, you can see the left tackle fall for it right there. The left tackle moves his hands a little bit differently. The left tackle doesn't expect an outside move. He expects an inside move. And he might think, hey, I'm going to punch with the right hand, but when Pearce hits an outside move, now he has to punch with the left hand, and it might not land cleanly. This is why you hezzy. And again, the best pass rushers in the NFL utilize hezzy moves. They, fake inside, fake outside, before they hit whatever the actual move is going to end up being. And on this one here, he's going to fake an inside move, and then he's going to swipe to the outside, right? Fake inside, right hand swipe, and then he's going to rip as well with this. Really, really good rep. These are the type of reps that translate into having success. Absolutely love some of these different reps that we're seeing from Pearce as a pass rusher. Just really, really good things on tape. Here's another one. He's going to generate a little bit of pressure. Going up against the left tackle once again. Hezzy tries to swipe, doesn't really work. And then he's going to try to fork up the hand of the offensive lineman as well. That doesn't really work either. So this is some of he's got to get a little bit stronger. But he does bull rush this guy back into the quarterback. So it's not a sack. But do note the pressure that he's forcing on this quarterback. The quarterback steps up and then another guy gets the sack. Right? The quarterback steps up. To me, phenomenal job here by Pearce. And obviously you get a couple of guys that kind of collapse the pocket. I believe it's 54 that knocks that ball out right there. It's a really good job by him. But Pearce is generating that pressure. You see him utilize these different moves. And when you slow it down, you see him get those hands. And you see how he's utilizing those hands. You see how he's working this tackle, right? If the first move doesn't work, go to your second move. Pearce, to me, has so much upside, so much potential. And I want to show you guys one other play when it comes to pass rushing. And then I'm going to show you guys some run reps as well. And this is more so to show you guys a guy who I'm still, even up to this point, very, very, very high on. Arnold Ebiketie, man. I don't know why it has not worked out for him yet. The guy's an elite pass rusher. And I think if the Atlanta Falcons let this guy play, just let him play 1,000 snaps this season, let him be the full-time starter, the pass rush is there. You see plays like this where it's just so quick, it's so effective. The bend is there as well, right? I mean, just look at the move. He's going to head to the inside. He's going to double hand swipe. He's going to bend the corner. It's so quick. It's so efficient. It's effective as hell as well. The hezzy move's not 100% the same way that Pearce does. Ebiketie's actually going to close the distance between him and the tackle. So what that means is instead of taking like a wide angle, he's almost going to take like an inside angle. And what that does is this tackle who's going to set in a 45-degree set, instead of getting way wide out here, he's only going to go a little bit. And with that, as soon as Ebiketie kind of makes that contact with this guy, because Ebiketie has that bend, he's going to be able to bend that corner. So on this one, instead of using the hezzy move, he's going to essentially close the distance, double hand swipe, hit that outside. Just a really, really good rep right there by Ebiketie. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about some of the run reps that Pearce played in. Again, only 18 total snaps. So there weren't a ton of run reps, but there were obviously still some good ones, right? Now, we already broke down this play, but you guys can see this was the first play that obviously we kind of broke down where he did a pretty nice job. He did his job. Here's another one. This one's going to be a 2-yard loss, but once again, Pearce does a really good job in terms of his responsibility within this play. Now, one of the things we have to realize is there's different ways to stop different type of run concepts. This one here is a zone run. It looks like outside zone to me. So this is an outside zone run. And because Pearce has a guy essentially on the outside of him, he is not the outside containment within this play. But again, the way to stop an outside zone run, it's obviously supposed to go to the outside, is essentially for these guys to jump these gaps. Is to set the edge, right? Get into those gaps, set the edge, and essentially as a running back trying to run it over there, if the edge is set, you got to kind of come to the inside. You got to kind of try to bend it back. And of course, this is also why it's important for these backside edge players that are going to go unblocked. It's important to come down the line of scrimmage and set that backside gap. But keep an eye here on the defensive end. He's going to fight through the tight end. He's going to get through there. And that's a pretty good job being able to kind of beat the block there. Now, obviously, the play is going to end up getting stopped because of the defensive lineman on the inside. This is a really nice job by those guys up front, and I'll tell you exactly who it is. Number 54 here does a phenomenal job. So 54 really sets that edge. He does not allow the right guard here to reach him. He's going to get the hands right into this guy, and he's going to keep that outside edge. And as a running back, if you're going to try to run this to the left, and 54 has that outside gap, you're not going to be able to outrun this guy, given there's also guys even further to the edge of that. And there's really just nowhere for him to go. And of course, you see number 95 just kind of blows it up. So it's a good job right there by all of those guys. Now, Pearce is not the first guy that's going to beat his guy, right? Pretty much all the other guys kind of win as well. But in his own responsibility, he does his job. So that's a pretty nice rep right there by Pearce to be able to defend the run. I think one of the question marks a lot of people had with Pearce in his tape, is he a good enough run defender? Is he able to come downfield on zone runs, and is he able to, pursue the backside? Will he recognize when it's a play action bootleg or, like on this one where it's an actual run play, and will he be able to make the play? Like, he doesn't come backside right away, right? He kind of keeps an eye on if the running back, quarterback, which guy kind of has the football. As soon as he recognizes the running back has the football, look at how much ground he makes up and how quickly he kind of gets there. To me, this is really, really, really impressive. Just a really good job right there. Now, obviously, number 98 is going to be the guy that's going to make this play. Now, obviously, do recognize number 98 is going to be the guy that makes the play. But also, if the running back, he's not able to go to the front side, Arnold Ebiketie just kind of blows it up and sets the edge. The running back could theoretically try to come back over the top, right? Over the reach of number 98. But again, that's why it's important for you as a backside player to come down the line of scrimmage. Zone runs are those type of runs where every single person has to be in their gap. If one guy gets out of their gap, it could be a touchdown. That's part of why so many teams are switching to heavy zone schemes. To me, it's a nice job by Ebiketie. It's a nice job by Ebiketie to set the front side. It's a nice job by Pearce to come downwards. The D tackles do a pretty nice job as well. That's a good job right there. I want to show you guys one more snap as well. This one's going to actually be a power run to the left. Pearce is going to just run upfield on this one, right? He's going to pursue the quarterback. This is something we don't want him to kind of get the habit of, right? Obviously, you guys saw on the last play that I showed you guys, Pearce, he was patient. He made sure the quarterback handed the football off before he chased it. On this one, he just kind of runs right upfield. And, the disadvantage of this is when you do run upfield, you're potentially exposing yourself to, a guy cutting it into the backside gap. Now, obviously, there's guys out here, so it's not like the running back is able to kind of do that. But this is something to just kind of keep an eye on, right? Obviously, you see some of the upside with a guy like Pearce, a guy that's 6'5", a guy who has so much room to continue to develop, a young football player who I actually truly believe is going to end up becoming a top 10 edge player at some point over the next year or two. Obviously, that's contingent on if he really develops, if he's really able to be coached right. And I do think the Falcons have a good defensive-minded coach. So, to me, I do think for a guy like Pearce Jr., he's in a really good spot. And we'll see how it kind of develops as we go forward. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, consider subscribing. We are going to be following Pearce over the course of his career, and we will be doing more Falcons content on this channel. So subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I will see you guys next time with another video.